Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pokepaint, the series where I draw new Fakémon to inhabit my fan-made Pokemon region, based on Florida, the Gladios region. This week, not only do I have a new episode of Pokepaint for you all, but we will be continuing on with designing our gyms today, by drawing the gym leader and our ace Pokemon for the 4th gym, the Grass-type gym. The ace Pokemon in question will be the first topic for today. This Pokemon will actually be filling 2 archetypal roles. Not only will the final form be the strongest Pokemon in the gym, but this first form will fill the role of regional plant Pokemon. Most regions have a plant-inspired Pokemon that starts out as a cute little chubby friend-shaped guy and evolves into a feminine Fey-type creature. And in the same way, most regions have a regional bird or rodent or bug. This regional plant Pokemon usually takes heavy inspiration from the real-life location, the local culture, and or history. Making a plant Pokemon for a Florida region was easy, as oranges are the state fruit. And as Florida is one of the largest producers of them in the country, the state has grown kind of famous for the fruit. I purposefully made it very much like a Smoliv or Bidoof type Pokemon in the way that it would start as a cute little chubby plant baby and evolve into a feminine type creature, a la Roserade or Balava. I more heavily leaned into the dopey look, however, as I imagine these Pokemon would be a lot more upbeat and confident than their counterparts Bidoof and Smoliv. Not because they're actually more confident, but because they're, well, to put it nicely, they're not all there in the head, so to speak. I wanted this Pokemon to be happy, flighty, and absent-minded, obliviously happy regardless of what was going on around it. I suppose this was probably inspired by my unbreakable love for orange-flavored things. I love everything orange. I love orange juice, orange-flavored candy, orange seltzer water. When I was a kid, my favorite flavor of ice cream was orange sherbet, which I'm not even sure if that counts as ice cream. So maybe that whole obliviously happy thing is more of a reflection of how I feel about oranges rather than a reflection of the fruit itself. I also wanted to add a bit to its lore reflecting the idea of how people often encourage you to drink orange juice when you're sick because of all of the vitamins that are in it. In the context of the Pokemon world, I'd imagine that Tikerine juice is something that these Pokemon produce naturally. Like how cows produce milk, it would come out of the sprig on their head, which is shaped like a straw. It would be a big part of Gladiosian culture, and in the context of game mechanics, might hypothetically be included as a healing item that you could purchase at the Pokemart, like Miltank milk, or fresh water, or the lemonade items. Each form in this evolution line would be named after a different type of orange, the first one having a name that combines Tyke, a word for a small child, and Tangerine. Tikerine, the tiny orange Pokemon. Inside their bodies, they produce a delicious juice that they pour out of the sprig on the top of their head to lend to those who need a drink. This beverage, which has many positive health benefits, is a staple of Gladiosian cuisine. Tikerine is a common target for beginning trainers just learning to capture Pokemon, as they're famous for having very little self-preservation instincts. If you approach one, it will just stare at you and smile happily. In the summer, they sit on hillsides and soak up the sun. The second form, Satsumini, is named after the Satsuma oranges of Japan. This middle form would largely be a transitional stage between the first and last, as regional plant Pokemon often have this less interesting second stage. Not to say that's all Satsumini would be, as I gave it a few defining characteristics so that it wouldn't be super boring. These middle forms most often take a sprightly, fairy form that hints at the more feminine appearance that they will take on in their final form. And as the last form will have a lot to do with fashion and dresses, I gave Satsumini a flowy, leafy body that looks like it could have inspired some weird Vogue outfit. The body would, however, take on a shape that would resemble the silhouette of a pitcher of orange juice. This is another characteristic that accomplishes all 3 of my goals in this design, by tying it to the concept of orange juice, like I talked about earlier, and giving it a unique shape that hints at what it will one day become. The leaves on the side form little arms that would be folded up most of the time, but in its art, one is curled out away from the body to put its hand on its hip. Yes, this hints that it might be becoming a little more self-aware, but it also forms the shape of a handle of a pitcher. The shiny forms of each of these Pokemon references blood oranges in the way that they're a darker red shade, but the shinies are a little more noticeable in this form and the last form. Satsumini, the tiny orange Pokemon, and the evolved form of Tikerine. A mild aroma of citrus always wafts from this Pokemon. Their shed leaves are the main ingredient in a popular tea. This tea is said to have restorative properties and are known to even have uses in medicine. Satsumini travel around the Gladios region, seeking out those who need help, where they will heal weary travelers and Pokemon alike with their wondrous qualities. The final form leads fully into the trope of the friend-shaped plant Pokemon that evolves into the feminine Fey final form. The design of the body continues with the juice pitcher idea becoming a more ornate shape. However, there's also more behind the design, and the way that its silhouette forms a similar shape to the decorative dresses of the Victorian era. This was on purpose to reference the gym leader that was going to have a lot to do with fashion and modeling. The leaf and stem from the first form that evolved to become more hair-like now gets long enough to resemble flowing locks that curl upward, and the dark spots on the first two forms are arranged in a way to look like freckles. The name, like the other two, is a reference to a specific type of orange being named after a clementine. Clemadame, the orange Pokemon, and the evolved form of Satsumini. Using their leaves, they transform energy from the sun into a densely nutritious and restorative drink that is very popular in the Gladios region. Due to their natures as healers, they were nicknamed the Mothers of the Forest by those who traveled through the Gladios region in the past, as they will find a group of Pokemon to take care of. It will always make sure that the local group of Pokemon is happy and healthy. Because of this fact, you can always tell when a Clemadame is in the area due to how vibrant and healthy the local Pokemon are. 200 years ago, the flowing leaves of this Pokemon inspired beautiful dresses that became famous as a status symbol around the world. So that is the 3-stage line that will double as the regional plant for the Gladios and the ace Pokemon for the 4th gym. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty pleased with how this one came out. Moving on to the gym leader, it's notable that a lot of Fakémon artists designed their individual gym leader characters to look like human versions of their Fakémon or existing Pokemon. Although this can be the case sometimes in the main series, most often gym leaders have aspects similar to or inspired by their Pokemon rather than being a full-on depiction of the design. That is, if they incorporate these reference designs at all, as most of the gym leaders honestly don't. But even though it's not super accurate to the design philosophy of the main series, I actually do really enjoy the adaptation that comes with these designs. So that is sort of the direction that I went in when designing the grass-type gym leader Palmira. Since the gym leader is based off of fashion designers and models that often will wear themed, abstract, or just plain weird outfits in their fashion shows, this served as a good excuse for this design to take heavy inspiration from the ace Pokemon. The idea being that this dress is designed purposefully off of Clemadame. This gym leader would be inspired by her own unique set of design ideas. However, seeing both how models and elegant grass-type specialist women are depicted in Pokemon, there are a few small visual references to Erica and Elisa from the main series. Adding general plant imagery that wouldn't be related to Clemadame, the heel boots would be inspired by crawling vines, and her purse would be ornately designed to look like palm leaves. This purse would also continue my through-line design philosophy with my gym leaders, that they each have a unique way to carry around their Pokemon. Transitioning now from our designs to deciding what the gym would be like, after winning the Fire Up badge in Soleil City and defeating the evil team to earn the bicycle from the bike shop owner, you gain access to the biking bridge just beyond Route 5, which will lead straight to Tropo Town, where the 4th gym can be found. The inside of this gym would be very much like the electric gym from Black and White 2, where the interior would resemble a runway. This gym puzzle, like the fire one before it, wouldn't be too much of a puzzle or like a battling test for your Pokemon, where you would have to battle each of the trainers on the runway, and the faster you beat them, the more points the judges will give you. Until you get a full 10 score, you can move on to fighting the gym leader. Looking at how similar the puzzle to the 3rd and 4th gyms are, I might go back and change the fire gym just to make it a little more unique in the final story video that I do on the series. But for now, when you reach the gym leader Palmira at the top of the runway, the battle begins. In normal mode, she sends out first a Tikerine at level 30 with the ability Immunity and the moves Razor Leaf for stab, Grass Knot to deal with any of the bulkier Pokemon that you may have gotten at this point in your journey, Sunny Day to set up Strong Sunlight for stronger grass-type moves, and Ingrain, which prevents you from switching out, while healing your opponent every turn. Her second Pokemon is Leavanny at level 31 with the ability Chlorophyll to take advantage of the Strong Sunlight set up by Tikerine. It would also have the moves Razor Leaf for stab, Swords Dance to boost its attack, Sunny Day to re-establish Strong Sunlight, and Struggle Bug to lower your special attack on contact, which should hypothetically weaken those pesky fire-type moves. The final Pokemon on her normal mode team is Clemadame at level 33 with the hidden ability Chlorophyll to boost its speed in the sun. Holding the big root, it boosts its healing and draining moves. Her normal mode Clemadame has a moveset of Sunny Day for Strong Sun, Magical Leaf, which never misses, Synthesis to heal itself, taking advantage of both the weather effects and the held item, and Leaf Tornado to trap you in a vortex so that you cannot switch out. In Challenge mode, each Mon gets a 2-level boost, and Leavanny takes Tinkerine's place in the leading spot. Taking the middle spot is an Alolan Executor with the moves Sunny Day, Stomp, Reflect, and Mega Drain. In Challenge mode, Clemadame's Leaf Tornado is replaced by Mega Drain to take even further advantage of the held item. If you can defeat Clemadame, you would have won the battle against Gym Leader Palmira, and won the Palm Skirt badge. I'm both really happy with the Tikerine line and my designs for Palmira's gym, and I am shocked at how we are halfway through the gym leaders having just Water, Poison Fairy, and the Electric ones left. Next time, we'll be continuing on with the gyms and talking about our Water Gym and the Ace Pokemon that can be found there. But until then, thank you for watching, and a very special thanks to my patrons STE, Alan Michael White, and Vex for their continued support. If you want to join them in their support of Pokepaint, History of the Future, the Realistic 151, and the other series that we have going on this channel, then you can start at the link in the description and sign up to get early access perks and more, starting at $3 a month. Thank you again for your support, it means the world to me. So that will do it for this episode of Pokepaint. If you liked it, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more like it, then subscribe, and turn on the bell to get notified when I upload next.